Hey guys, it's me again. Today we're gonna look at what makes Taylor Hill so attractive. So for the front profile, she actually got a very high score at a 8.38 out of 10, which is a top 0.01% face. And for the side, she got a 8.62, which is higher than her front. And she got a top 0.004% face. And that overall gives her a 8.47 out of 10, and that's roughly a top 0.006% face. Obviously, this is outstanding harmony, but her overall score, including misc, angularity, and dimorphism, increases her score actually. Because as we can see, her dimorphism is high. She looks feminine, she looks like a woman, right? And her angularity is pretty good. We can see the OG curve coming down here. And she's decently lean here as well. And she has good features. So when we include all these, I'll probably give her a 9 out of 10, which is like the best face out of millions of people. But anyways, we can get to her front ratios. So as we can see, Taylor Hill has 3 major flaws out of 30. And the biggest one is her deviation of lips lateral angle and jaw frontal angle. It's all the way here of the outside of ideal, and we can see that this makes her mid-face and jaw alignment disharmonious. She's at a 12.22 when it should be more like 0 to 2.5. And her second biggest flaw from her front ratios is her chin to philtrum ratio. She got a 3.51 out of 10, which is obviously outside of ideal. This is because her chin is actually vertically too short, and this throws off the chin to philtrum ratio because her philtrum is fine. It's just that her chin is vertically too short. And lower third proportion is the third biggest flaw. She got a 4.43 out of 10, and her value is 36%. And ideally, we would want it like around 32%. This indicates that she has a long upper jaw. And this is her fourth biggest flaw at eye aspect ratio, and it's all the way here when we want it in the middle. This actually indicates that her eyes are actually too round even for a woman. We would want it more compact. We can visually see that her eyes are round. Ear protrusion angle, this is like a minor flaw, say. She just has very slightly flared ears. She got a 7.82 when it should be 11 ideally. Lips lateral angle again. This was her flaw from all the way here. Right eye width to height ratio. This also shows that her eyes are actually too round. Top third, her forehead is the biggest third of her facial thirds, which isn't good. Obviously, for women we would want the mid face and the lower third to be the biggest. Nose tip position. So starting from here, she pretty much gets everything perfectly. This basically shows that her septum here is like too low. We want it like pushed back all the way there. Bigonial width, her jaw is just very slightly narrow. This is like a very minor flaw. Even for a woman, we would want it bit more wider. We can see that it's just right outside of ideal. We would want it 85% of the cheekbone height. The cheekbone width, ideally. She has a harmonious total FWHR. Her FWHR ratio is good. Mid face is good. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's just outside of the ideal. Just right outside of the ideal. This is good. To the lower third. We can see that her lower third is the smallest third of her face. However, she got a 10 out of 10. Technically, this is in the ideal, but we would want the forehead to be a bit smaller vertically, and we would want the lower third to be longer, especially her chin. ESR, it's perfect. One eye apart test, perfect. That means her eyes aren't too far or too close set. Mouth width to nose ratio, this is important. She gets it perfect. Mid face ratio, she gets it perfect, almost right in the middle. Canthal tilt, she has a positive canthal tilt. This is 6.7 degrees, and this one is 9.8 degrees. It's perfect. Jaw frontal angle, this is perfect. Upper lip to lower lip to upper lip ratio, this is good. Her lower lip is slightly longer than her upper lip, which is what we want. Eyebrow low setness, she has low set eyebrows for a woman. We got the eyebrow tilt here, and her eyebrows are positively tilted. This is what we want. We don't want the eyebrows to be downturned, which makes you look sad or tired. Neck width, this is ideal for women. We would want her neck width is actually like right on the ideal. This is what you want as a neck width for women, ideally. Cheekbone height, we can visually see that her cheekbones are very high set. It's all the way up here, pretty much touching her iris. She got these perfect. Ear protrusion angle, mouth corner position, perfect. So moving on to her side ratios. So her biggest flaws stem from not passing the lip assessments. So she got a 2.42 out of 10 on the H line here. It's all the way outside of the ideal, you guys can see. And what this indicates is that her lips are actually very slightly over protruded, and her chin is recessed. You guys can see that her chin is kind of pushed behind her lips when we want it slightly forward to the lips. So it should be like more like here, and that would make her pass the lip assessments. Same as this one. Her chin has to be more forward. Same as this one. Like her lips are very slightly over protruded, and her chin could be more projected. Nasal tip angle. This is like a slight flaw, minor flaw, I'll say. What this basically indicates that is her nose tip is actually a little too round. We would want it more defined and sharp. Orbital vector, we can see that it's quite negative. This kind of, as we can see that this gives a sunken orbital region look, and what this basically shows that is her eye area looks unhealthy, or she looks tired. Another lip assessment, as what I said for these. She's recessed relative to Frankfurt plane. Again, her chin's recessed by about 3.4 millimeters according to FaceIQ Labs. We would want the chin more forward. Ramus to mandible ratio, this basically indicates that is her ramus is 0.74 times her mandible. Submental cervical angle, hers is basically ideal, but it can be more lean. Her hyoid bone, which is right here, it can be higher, and that would fix cervical angle. Nasal frontal angle, this is good. She has it basically indicates that her brow ridge is balanced. So starting from here, she gets everything perfect, all the way down to here. Nasolabial angle is perfect. Convexity is good. Brow ridge inclination angle is perfect. Facial convexity, the Gabella one, is almost in the middle of ideal. Total convexity is good. Nasal projection, it's like right in the middle of ideal. What this basically shows that is her nose isn't too far projected or too sunken back. Good. She got these almost perfect. This one is like right in the middle of ideal. Nasal mental angle, good. Her gonial angle is pretty much right in the middle of ideal. What this basically indicates that is her ramus and her mandible has an ideal steepness. good mandibular plane angle, good gonian to mouth line. The Frankfurt tip angle and for the facial depth to height ratio, she basically got it right in the middle of ideal. We can see it's like in the middle of blue. Facial depth to height ratio, this is really important. What it shows that is how projected your maxilla is. And we can see that her value is 1.29 times, which is pretty much right in the middle of ideal. This shows that her maxilla is really good again. So moving on to her top 3 strengths. Again, we talked about this. She has an ideal maxillary projection, balanced jaw growth, because her convexity, the Gabilla one, is good. Mandibular plane angle is good. Jaw frontal angle, again, it's good. Harmonious facial convexity. So again, this is convexities again. And according to FaceIQ Labs, she doesn't have any severe flaws. She just has 3 moderate flaws on her face. And we went over this. She has a long upper jaw. Her chin to philtrum ratio is off because her chin is a bit too short. And her lower third proportion is off. This proportion and lower face, again, we talked about this right here. This is her lips lateral angle to jaw frontal angle. This is off. We can see that this makes her mid-face and jaw alignment disharmonious. That's it for the analysis for today. If you guys want the exact same facial harmony analysis that I did for Taylor Hill here, if you guys want your front score and your side profile score and your overall facial harmony score out of 10, including your 30 ratios for the front here and all your 29 ratios for the side profile here, including all your key strengths and all your areas of improvement. You guys can press down my description or my pinned comments, and there will be a link attached, and you guys can press that to get 25% off of FaceIQ Labs here. There's no reason why you don't want FaceIQ Labs if you guys are into facial aesthetics and if you want to know how attractive you are.